Hello, BookTube. This is Alan. Well, I had started to upload the video of the book haul I had, and saying that, well, the other books haven't come yet. Well, as soon as I started uploading, they came. So, I got all books here. I got 5 books that I'm going to go through. So, the first one is Herodotus, the Histories. This is the Penguin Classic Edition. I got this because Jack at the Rambling Racketeer, he's going to do a read along starting in November, and this will be added. And I did is the 12 Caesars by Suetonius a couple of months ago. I really enjoyed it. I actually finished the book, so hopefully I'll get through with this one. And this one's pretty long. It's 500 pages. Yeah, it's over 500 pages. And so so I'm adding to my Penguin Library, Classics Library. I believe I'm at 7 right now. One of the funniest things you can do when you're kind of bored, like I am, is watching YouTube videos and book videos, is to put the captions on. Those captions are just hilarious. I put it on for Jack the Rambling Racketeer because I was in a public place. And I have a hard time hearing, even with the earbud in. So what I did was put the captions on, and the caption said, Jack the Rambling Intern. Excuse me. And so on the Sean D. Steadfast channel, when I put the captions on, it said captions English caption. No, wait a minute. It says English, and then it says English UK. I don't understand that one. So this is the Penguin Classic Editions, Herodotus, the Histories. The next book, and I can't remember where I saw this. I think I saw it on Instagram. Because this author is very famous. He has written 20 of his books have been made into films. And this is Frederick Dürrenmatt, because he was born in Switzerland, studied at the University of Bern, and then went to Zurich and write full time. He wrote one called, he writes a lot of plays and a lot of films. Jack Nicholson stars in one of his films. This is called The Visit. And this is actually a play in itself, as you can probably tell. And this is called a tragic comedy. Read you the back here. It says Gowan's residence boasts that Brahms composed a quartet when he visited, and Goethe once slept there. But at the time of Friedrich Drumont's The Visit, the town has fallen on hard times. Its factory shuttered, residents living on the dole. When prodigal daughter Claire Schackenazen returns, the townspeople hope that the millionaires will restore Gowan to his past glory, but the eccentric millionaires traveling with the entourage includes husbands number 7, 8, and 9, blind eunuchs, and a Black Panther, who offers them a Faustian bargain, and it becomes clear the town's financial salvation will come at a high moral price. Duramont's play has a sweep of the Greek tragedy swept in the contemporary dying industrial town. It's unemployed, serving as a chorus for our age. When the world's richest woman makes an offer that is hard to refuse, we witness a community slowly yielding to temptation. And what was at first unthinkable comes to be seen as inedible. So that's the Visit, and this is by so he published this one. This is English language translation by Joel Agee. Um, and this was, it first came out in 1986. And this by Grove Press, and then printed Grove Atlantic. So there's that one. This one is called the Habsburgs. This is Martin Rady's Habsburgs to Rule the World. This is published by Basic Books, and there's a lot of blurbs on the back there. I like the cover design of this. This one on the Habsburgs, let me see when it came out. Came out this year, 2020. My goodness. The Hatchet Book Group. This is the first edition, May 2020. And it has the color photographs inside. Yeah. And yeah, that was the Emperor Rudolph II. So in the Habsburgs, historian Martin Rady tells the epic story of a dynasty and the world they built and then lost over nearly a millennium. From modest origins in the Middle Ages, the Habsburgs built up a block of land in Austria, and in the 15th century became Holy Roman emperors dominating much of Central Europe. Then, in just a few decades after 1500, the Habsburgs burst upon the world. By good fortune and crafty marriages, they took over a large part of Europe, stretching from Hungary to Spain, Portugal, as well as large parts of the New World and outposts in the Far East. Even after the losses of the Spanish and overseas empires in the 1700s and the disillusionment of the Holy Roman Empire in 1806, the Habsburgs continued to govern Central Europe through the First World War. And so this is here's the Habsburg family tree. So yeah, that's going to be, so you have Rudolph the Tight-Lipped, Albert the Wise, Albert the One-Eyed, Frederick the Fair. It sounds like Game of Thrones here. Ferdinand I, Charles V. Yeah, this Maximilian. Charles II, the Bewitched. 3 feathered sons dying prematurely, and 8 daughters. So yeah, that's the Habsburgs. The next book is the finalist for the Condell History Prize. Excuse me, I get a drink here. There we go. There's a finalist for the Condell History Prize, and that's The Fifth Son, A New History of the Aztecs by Camellia Townsend. And this is put out by Oxford University Press. And there's our author right there, looking very beautiful. I wonder if she's married. She is a distinguished professor of history at Rutgers University, authored numerous books, including Malthusian's Choices, An Indian Woman in the Conquest of Mexico, Pocahontas, and the Powhatan Dilemma in the Annals of Native America, how the Nahans, colonial Mexico, kept their history alive. I read you the inside here. Inside cover. November 1519, Hernando Cortez walked the long causeway leading to the capital of Aztec Kingdom, came face to face with Montezuma. That story and the story of what happened afterward has been told many times, but always following the narrative offered by the Spaniards. After all, we have been taught it was the Europeans who held the pens, but the Native Americans were intrigued by the Roman alphabet, and unbeknownst to the newcomers, they used it to write detailed histories in their own language of non-Nahuatl. Till recently, these sources remain obscure, only partially translated, and rarely consulted by scholars. In the fifth son, the history of the Aztecs is offered for the first time in all its complexity, based solely on the text written by the indigenous people themselves. Camellia Townsend presents an accessible and humanized depiction of those native Mexicans rather than seeing them as exotic, bloody figures of European stereotypes. This is actually a very short book. It's only it's only 208 pages. It has an appendix how scholars studied the Aztecs, and it has extensive notes here and an extensive bibliography section. So it's a just very well researched book, and it's no wonder it's a finalist for the Condell History Prize. The last book I've been wanting to get when it came out, and so I finally got it. So I've been on my mind for a long time, and that's this one, Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham. This book came out in 2019. I didn't know it came out. I thought it came out longer. This is by Simon Schuster, and this is the first edition hardback. There's on my Instagram page, I follow a lot of people who live in Russia. One lives in St. Petersburg. Several live in Moscow. A couple of them live down in Kiev, I believe. I'm not sure, but one of them wanted to do research on Chernobyl, and he is 10 years old. So his mother, and he wanted to actually watch the movie that was based on this book. I believe it's HBO or Netflix, one of the two, did that the series, a movie. And his mother said no, so the 10-year-old asked his grandmother about everything about what she thought about Chernobyl. So I actually pointed her to this book. I said, yeah, just go ahead and read the book itself. And so a lot of people know about Chernobyl. Not very many people do. Early in the morning on April 26, 1986, reactor number 4, Chernobyl Atomic Energy Station exploded, triggering history's worst nuclear accident. In more than 30 years since then, Chernobyl has been lodged collective nightmares of the world, shorthand for the spectacle horrors of radiation poison. For the dangerous technology slipping the sleeves for ecological fragility and for what could happen when a dishonest and careless state endangers not only citizens but those far beyond its own borders. Yet the true real story of what happened remains in dispute. This is filled with notes, with index, with a bibliography section. It has a lot of pictures, and this is the city of picture here, city of Pripyat in the early 80s with Chernobyl Atomic Energy Station visible on the horizon. Reactor Unit Number 4, plant lay just 3 kilometers from the southern east of the town. So it's right here. There are a lot of people living there that worked at the plant. You had a lot of families, and you had a lot of children. So if this is a view of Pripyat down the length of Liana Prospect, and the boulevard they call it Prospects in Russia. And this is the central hall of Unit 3 of Chernobyl plant. This picture right here. And the reactor's 1600 fuel channel with their top covers removed. The RBMK 1000 model reactors of Units 3 and 4 constructed back to back were almost identical. And Unit 4, the newest and most advanced reactor blocks of Chernobyl stations, photographed right here. That's one that's photographed. That's the one that blew up. And this is the cause of the blow up explosion after the accident. And so you have a lot of, and there's a lot of the, there was a Ferris wheel, there was for the children, there was an amusement park for the children who were of their parents worked at the nuclear power plant. This is the city today in 2016, excuse me, city 2016. Chernobyl Station, the arc of the new safe confinement building, visible on the horizon 30 years after the accident. The autograde has been almost completely reclaimed by nature, and this is it's called the elephant's foot. It's a picture that's used to conceal mass of once molten sand, uranium, fuel, steel, and concrete found in the autumn of 1986 by the scientists of the Chernobyl complex expedition in the basement beneath the ruins of the reactor number 4. It remained so radioactive less than 5 minutes in its presence was enough to guarantee agonizing death. So this is Midnight Chernobyl, and then I'll probably read this for my nonfiction November. Well, thank you very much for watching BookTube, and have a good weekend.